Surah Al-Qalam has within it the first story revealed in the Quran, the very first narrative that Allah Azza wa Jal tells about another people. إِنَّا بَلَوْنَاهُمْ كَمَا بَلَوْنَا أَصْحَابَ الْجَنَّةِ. Allah Azza wa Jal calls them the Ashabul Jannah, the people of the garden. It's a long story that I've covered before, but the gist of it is that these were a group of brothers whose father had passed away, and their father had plenty of land, and he would give a large portion of the harvest to the poor. And actually he'd harvest in the daytime, so when the harvest is happening, naturally the poor, they come, and so he'd harvest a portion for himself and he'd tell them, take the rest for yourselves. But as the children, they thought that their father was very wasteful. You have this huge land and then you give away so much, there's so much potential financially that you can build yourself. So they thought to themselves that, what if we didn't give that away? We held on to all of that. فَتَنَادَوْا مُصْبِحِينَ أَنِ اغْدُوا عَلَى حَرْثِكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ صَارِمِينَ أَلَّا يَدْخُلَنَّهَا الْيَوْمَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِسْكِينٌ. That what if no miskin entered upon you, and you left early in the morning, so before the sunrise, you started your harvest early, and before people got there, you finished your harvest. You can keep everything for yourself. You don't have to share at all. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He says that when they got there, when they got to their fields, فَلَمَّا رَأَوْهَا قَالُوا إِنَّا لَضَالُّونَ, that they found their fields, they thought that they were in the wrong place. When they got to their fields, they said, إِنَّا لَضَالُّونَ, we've lost our path, this isn't our fields. Why? Because فَطَافَ عَلَيْهَا طَائِفٌ مِّن رَبِّكَ وَهُمْ نَائِمُونَ فَأَصْبَحَتْ كَالصَّرِيمِ. That Allah Azza wa Jal sent something that night that went on their fields, and everything was burned to the ground during that night. And so naturally, for a farmer, when you walk in and that's it, your crops are gone. This is the most shocking thing. And so they said, "Inna ladallun." This is not our place. We lost on the way. We lost track of where we are. بَلْ نَحْنُ مَحْرُومُونَ. But then they realized quickly, no, this is that we've been punished. And so the point that I wanted to highlight from this long story is how Allah Azza wa Jal calls the one brother who was the quickest to understand. قَالَ أَوْسَطُهُمْ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ لَكُمْ لَوْلَا تُسَبِّحُونَ. There was one brother who initially had said that don't do this, it's not a good idea. Allah Azza wa Jal talks about him first. قَالَ أَوْسَطُهُمْ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ لَكُمْ لَوْلَا تُسَبِّحُونَ. Did I not tell you that would you not be from those who do the tasbih of Allah, tusabbihun, meaning don't you think of Allah when you're planning all of this? But Allah Azza wa Jal calls him awsatuhum. Awsat is the person who is, you can say, in the wasat, or it's on the pattern of tafdeel, which is a superlative pattern. So aktharuhum wasatan, the most balanced. Wasat means to be in the middle. And naturally, when you balance things, they become in the middle. That's why it's called balanced, because everything is equal. Awsatuhum, the person who was the most balanced. Balanced in what? Scholars of Tafsir say balanced in his intellect, balanced in his iman, balanced in his worldview. It could have been that he was also the middle one, perhaps, because he was from the brothers. But the important thing is, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, awsatuhum, that he was the one that was the most balanced, the most learned, the most wise, the one that had everything right in what he was looking at. لَوْلَا تُسَبِّحُونَ قَالُوا سُبْحَانَ رَبِّنَا إِنَّا كُنَّا ظَالِمِينَ فَأَقْبَلَ بَعْضُهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ يَتَلَاوَمُونَ. So they began to blame each other, as we humans do. When things go wrong, it was your idea. No, it was your idea. I was the one who said it. No, you were the one who said it. عسى ربنا أن يبدلنا خيرا منها إنا إلى ربنا راغبون. And so this brother, the same Awsatuhum, he said, perhaps Allah will give us something back in return that's better. Inna ila rabbina raghibun. We are people that we brothers, we turn back to Allah Azza wa Jal. And Allah Azza wa Jal gives this parable because He says, كَذَلِكَ الْعَذَابِ. That's how I send down my adhab, but that's just a small adhab that you lost your crops. وَلَعَذَابُ الْآخِرَةِ أَكْبَرُ. But the adhab of the akhirah is even severe. The shahid, the thing to take from it is how Allah Azza wa Jal praises the person who spoke up. Because speaking up is not a sign of weakness or a sign of a person standing out or calling, but He says, أَوْسَطُهُمْ. The person is the most balanced, is the person that calls out the thing and says, let's rethink this. Maybe we shouldn't do this. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal, He make us that person who is always conscious of Him, thinking of Him, pointing to the right thing. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha